The cost of IT in business can be staggering. From hardware and software expenses to services like internet and phone, you don't need to spend a fortune on IT to succeed. If your organization spends more than $500 monthly on any service, or you're considering signing a long-term contract, IT Enabled can help you manage your technology and minimize your costs. Contact us today to schedule a free consultation. IT Enabled, we're here to help.
Hi, I'm Tara Watson-Watkins, President and CEO of the Lufkin Angelina County Chamber of Commerce. Welcome to the Connect podcast, connecting business to the community. I am joined today by my great co-host, Blake Pollino with BP Media Group.
This week, we are sitting down with Buddy Tim, the new director of the Lufkin Parks and Recreation, to talk about all of the amazing programs that they have. It will blow your mind, all of the different leagues and sports and activities that you can participate right here in Lufkin. So let's get into that now.
It's always nice to have a new face on our podcast, and we're excited to welcome the somewhat still new Parks and Rec Director, Buddy Tim. Thanks, Buddy, for joining us.
Thank you very much for having me.
Yeah.
5 months. Almost 5 months now.
Nice. So why don't you let our listeners know a little bit about your background? Where'd you come from? How'd you get to Lufkin? Things like that.
Grew up in Lufkin. I graduated in 1986 from Lufkin. Then went to Stephen F. And after that, I was a high school football coach and baseball coach and teacher for 12 or 13 years. So it was about 8 different schools around the state for that. So was gone from Lufkin for quite a while, and then took a job back here in Lufkin. Got out of coaching and got into business and sales. Did some software sales. Worked in the transportation industry, heavy duty truck side for a while, and then I'd always thought I wanted to own my own business. I always kind of had that, and so I purchased an insurance agency in Carthage in 2017, a farmer's agency, and really thought that was what I would do till I decided I didn't want to work anymore, and sell the agency, and that was going to kind of be probably my last job, and then it was living here though.
Oh, you were driving every day?
It was most days a week driving to Carthage.
Okay. Yeah.
And then my wife went through breast cancer during that. And so then COVID happened. Had a really good staff over there, though. And so it really was, I think, looking back now, I couldn't have spent the time in Houston I had to spend with her. There was, if I'd been doing something different.
Yeah.
And so, I just think it was God kind of put that out there for that time. That's right. It was the right time for something like that. And she's beat it and doing great. And good. So, but after COVID, City of Carthage, we wanted one person in the office at a time during the beginning of COVID and kind of during that. And so I got to where I wasn't going much. We had a great couple years. People were shopping insurance. They were at home, didn't have anything to do, Right. So, financially it was great. But then once that kind of changed, I just kind of started, feeling of, this isn't maybe what I want to do the rest of my life at this point. I enjoyed it. I love selling certain parts. I especially love selling life insurance because I saw how important it was. But had an offer one day. A guy walked in and had some employee turnover, and then I had a gentleman wanting to purchase, and it was, I told my wife, I said, I don't know what it is, but I'm going to look into it. And sold it within 2 months.
Wow.
Normally it takes a year.
Never a bad thing.
Yes, it was. It was the right person, the right time. We agreed on a price in a week. It was, went very smoothly with farmers. He was already appointed with farmers, so it was as smooth as it could possibly go. Didn't have a clue what I was going to do. I assumed I would stay in insurance. Knew I wanted to stay here.
Okay.
And not drive, and that part got old pretty quick.
Yeah.
And I just assumed I would, go to work for somebody and sell insurance, and so I guess a month or two rolled. I sold it in October. It was October 1st was when the new agent took over, and so played a little golf and tried to figure out what I was going to do, and then had a friend call and say, "Did you know?" I won't say who she was, but did you know the Lufkin Parks and Rec Director's job open? I said no, and she said, "I think you meet every qualification." And I was like, "Well," so I looked into it and I said, "You know what? I'm going to apply." So it from there, luckily, I feel very blessed that, I was selected for the position. And, I told the city manager in interviews, growing up here, I remember, Parks and Rec was the memories that were made.
Yeah.
Flag football it was a huge when I was a kid, and we would wear our jerseys to school, and it was a big deal. And, and then playing, back then was Dixie baseball, all the way through high school. And then up to, adult softball. Church league was very large back then, and playing with my dad and with, and I told Kevin, I said, our city manager, I said, the chance to help create those memories for the next generation is exciting, and so, I think that's why I was really interested.
Yeah.
Because of the memories I had, I knew, okay, this is what it means to families, and, go out to a soccer just one Saturday morning and you see, the grandparents and the parents and the moms are pushing strollers and, it's the whole family there for an hour, and our society has kind of lost some of that in some ways, but there's sports and those things do bring families together and for events. And so, it's a fun job. I enjoy that aspect of, working with the community and, watching kids be happy and
that's great.
Smile and have fun, and what those young leagues do for kids.
That's right.
That's awesome. So let's talk a little bit about Parks and Rec. So we've talked about it before on the podcast, but for people who don't know all of the resources and everything that's out there, there's so much.
Boy, I didn't know either.
It's incredible. Just like facilities and parks and leagues, and just kind of give us a really
and you have
high.
a brand new facility. Well, sort of brand new.
Or our offices.
That's right.
Fairly new.
Yeah.
Well, with the renovation.
Yeah.
And we just finished some more renovation on it.
It's such a pretty facility.
On the entrance. I don't know if you've seen when you come in our front door. I think y'all did.
We did. Yeah, it looks great. Yep.
Where now there's when you walk in the door, there's an area where you check in, and instead of, the old kind of a maze of finding where to go. So we recreated that up front, the large window. And then some offices we're redoing. But yes, that facility, we use a lot. But, I didn't know there's 16 parks in the city of Lufkin. Most people have no idea that there's 16. I didn't know there were 16. And there's 4 trails, 2 community centers, 1 swimming pool, 3 splash pads, our rec center, which we'll talk about, you can go in detail in a second. And then we also have Kurth Lake Lodge is under Parks and Rec. All the passes to Kurth Lake for fishing.
And if you've never been to Kurth Lake, you are missing out.
And we just renovated the lodge.
It needed it. Good.
It is, I would say, 95% complete. We've already hosted 2 weddings since the renovation.
It is absolutely beautiful.
You ought to see it now. Yeah, I'm telling you, if it is rented every weekend.
Nice.
And, for a wedding the size of, 75 or less, about 75, it's a beautiful spot, that lodge to do it.
Yeah.
And we rent that, and it's a very reasonable day rental for that facility. So, I think, and I bet I've only been out there, I'd forgotten about Kurth Lake.
Yeah.
I remember fishing it when I was a kid a few times. Yeah. But then, to go back out there and see that now, and that new facility, or new renovated facility, it's very nice. Commission completely changed the kitchen, where it's more of a, I'm not going to say commercial kitchen, but more of a, set up for a usable kitchen, right? More, because nobody really cooked out there.
Right.
So more of a catering style kitchen, but, and redid, there's some few things we're finishing, like some beams on the ceiling and those kind of things, but, the flooring in the bathrooms and everything redone. And it really looks nice. Yeah. So
great.
And then the zoo, we have, we're over everything until you walk in the gate. So, all the parks. Now, the zoo does handle their own, and that's something I do want to talk about, because sometimes there's confusion. They do handle their own reservations for those pavilions.
Right.
That's the only ones that Parks and Rec doesn't.
Okay.
And it makes more sense because they're right there.
That's right.
And so if there's any conflict or issue, then they can take care of that. But we handle all the maintenance for that entire park and the lake and the trail. Those are probably the most, that trail, and then Grace Dunn and, the Zaya Trail, probably the most heavily used 2 trails.
Yeah.
And then kind of hidden at Kip McConaughey is the trails that
Those are our favorite. Aren't
They're
spread enough.
beautiful.
Yeah,
Yes.
we love the
We have 5 miles of trails.
Yeah, there's a lot
in
out there.
Conoco.
That's right.
And looking at some possibilities of expanding that.
That's awesome.
With a group where
That's great.
But those are kind of hidden gem.
They really are.
Conoco, and the great in the summertime because it's shaded.
Yes.
And the new bridge is put in, so you really don't have an issue with unless it's really muddy, unless it's this week.
Yeah.
Don't go this week.
Yeah.
But
This week it's raining every single day.
Oh yes,
We love those trails. We go
still
ride
innocent
bikes and we ride bikes on there. I mean, during the summertime, a couple times a month, we'll take the kids out there and just load the bikes up and go ride. And if you haven't done that, it's beautiful. I mean, it's not heavily trafficked. I mean, we'll go out there sometimes and ride bikes and not see a single other person, and it feels wild. Like it feels like you are way out in the middle of nowhere, but you're right there in the middle of town, pretty close. So it's a cool place.
It really is nice, and walking those trails is just if you want to go out and walk.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
It is a great place.
So tell us about the classes and the leagues, the camps that y'all offer, because I don't think people are aware of all that you have.
Yeah, I think that let's go to can we talk about the facility first?
Absolutely.
At the rec center.
Yeah.
Our whole upstairs is fitness rooms. There's a cycling room. There's a cardio room. There's a weight room that the public can use. And you come in, you sign a liability form. It doesn't necessarily have to be entitled with a class.
Is it free?
It is, yes, basically free. There's
Okay.
you don't have to do it with a class. You can come in, we have a check-in process, and you're signing up a liability form, and you're able to do that. But obviously, we run classes in those rooms as well.
Right.
So there's like for our summer classes right now, we have it's called a class interval training, which is mainly ladies and interval training. They're in the mornings. They use our gym, and then they go upstairs. It's a kind of she does a training in the gym, and then some days it's cardio upstairs, or it's with the weights, or with cycles, or whatever. We have self-defense class. It's downstairs. We have a spin class, and then a new urban step class. It's really taken off. Like they had for the month of April, over 100 attendees. Now that doesn't necessarily mean it could be a walk-in attendee that pays for the one class, or it could be they join for the month.
Okay.
But those are our current adult type classes. Probably for the youth still for classes, we have gymnastics. There's a gymnastics combo class, karate, chess, and we've added twirling. We've been approached with twirling. So now all those classes are available. But for the summer, it's really our camps, when school's out. And so I'll give you some dates. June 12th through 16th is a soccer camp. July 10th through 13th is a sports fundamentals camp, which is going to be baseball, basketball, kind of a combination of some things. An art class, middle of July, the 17th to the 21st. A volleyball clinic, July 4th. Some of those are different ages, but I'll give you some websites you can go to on our sites where everybody can see those ages. But then we do have a new one called the Park Explorer Camp, which is June 26th to the 29th. And we have a new mascot, Sonny the Squirrel. And so this class is ages 6 to 11 to start teaching kids, like we're doing it mainly at Chambers, where we can use the Rock House at the same time. But, how do you take care of the parks? Talk about, litter in parks, and, how do we maintain, why we have parks. And so Sonny the Squirrel is a big part of kind of that. We're adding that into.
Love that.
That's awesome.
So they were quickly signing up, and all those classes are limited on size.
Okay.
But those are exciting for us in the summers is our leagues, because currently we'll talk about leagues. Right now we have Little League Baseball is under Parks and Rec,
Which is huge. Like people don't realize how big that
Yeah.
it is.
It is.
Like
It's wonderful.
Yeah.
It's wonderful. It's near and dear to my heart. So, I love opening day was,
Little League
fantastic.
opening day is a cool day.
It's a cool day.
It's a lot of fun.
Largest crowd that they can remember that we've had in years.
Wow.
Yeah.
And you had Chris Seelbach throw out the first pitch, and we were able to we did it all on one field this year. We used the old high school field. So we were able to have every team in one spot.
That's great.
With Chris. And then we had food vendors everywhere and other vendors as well. And then playing games on that day, immediately. So then they spread out all over the park. It's just a cool day. But then soccer, the opening day of soccer was just fun.
Also huge. Also a huge league.
And the numbers, I'll tell you, it's crazy. And I didn't write down the exact numbers, but we last fall, fall soccer is typically, our understanding, when Lufkin Soccer Association ran it with their big league, the largest numbers. And so we, last year our fall was the first year soccer fell under Parks and Rec, and it went fantastic. Numbers were great. So we're expecting, as we're now, spring Little League baseball, youth softball, at the same time. So we'll have a smaller soccer league. Our numbers were larger than the fall.
Wow.
For soccer. So this fall, the expectations are even
bigger.
Even bigger.
Yeah.
So soccer, it's really taken off. So you go out on a Saturday morning to Kit McConaughey, and you see a lot of smiling faces, and some of those the youth, the real small kid soccer games are worth the price of the zero price of attendance just to watch an hour of that. It's fantastic. But we also have youth softball going on around the same time, and we have adult softball going on at the same time. So probably our busiest time as far as leagues is right now. We're in the middle of it.
Okay.
But for fall, we offer fall baseball, fall soccer. So the summer is kind of our camps and all-star baseball. We hope that runs a long time.
That's right.
And so then we'll pick up again, after school starts. Oh, no, I forgot. And it's one of my favorite ones. Can't believe I forgot. Youth kickball. We're having a youth kickball league start in August.
Oh, cool.
Ages 3 through 6, I believe, or 3 through 7. I can't believe I forgot that. But yeah,
That's fun.
It's fun to watch too.
I still love to play kickball.
Kickball is
I
fun.
hadn't thought about kickball.
Kickball's a good time.
There's some cities with adult leagues. I'm like,
They are.
we ought to.
That's a thing.
It is.
That's fun.
So
Y'all have got so much going on.
well, and that's nothing of
I
our
was going to say that's
one day events.
like the icing on the cake.
Oh, it is. And,
Yeah.
the deputy director, Rudy, handles all of our one day events. Does a fantastic job. And just since I've been here with the Daddy Daughter Dance, we had to add tickets 3 or 4 times. We have 700.
My daughter loves to come to that. And
Yes.
Brent's like, why do you love to come to that? Because it's a daddy-daughter dance and you dance with me once.
Yeah, that's what a lot of
All
dads
the
say.
dads line up,
Yeah.
and then we all try to watch where our kid is going because it's dark in there and you can't find them. And he's like, so the dads the whole time are like, have you seen her? No, she's over here. Yes, run over here. He said, next time I'm going to put
It's a bunch of dads.
a bunch of glow-in-the-dark sticks all over her so that I can catch her really quick.
Yeah, it was huge. And, we're looking at what do we do next year?
Yeah.
So we can account for hopefully the growth, and maybe it's 2 nights.
I was going to say maybe
by
break it
age
into
groups.
ages.
That's one of the things we've talked about.
Yeah,
And doing it back to back. We're using the convention center in one day still.
that's right.
But yeah, just huge, just. a
Well, they love
fantastic-
to go.
Yes.
Get all dressed up and get to go.
Yes, and that we brought back the Easter egg hunt this year for the
Yes.
first time. It's been a few years. I think before COVID, I believe. Then we had the bad weather, and then we made the change and moved it to our facility and used our gym. And the line, there's drone footage that it's unbelievable. They were lined up completely around our building, all the way back where admin parks, from 11 till 1:32.
Wow.
With 10,000 eggs we ran through. Everybody seemed they understood why we had to come inside. They were patient in the line, did their pictures with the Easter Bunny, and it went, fantastic.
That's
it
great.
was great, So Springfest, we had a street where we partner with
Visit Lufkin.
Visit Lufkin, and so we had kind of the kids event type stuff on one street, and I thought Springfest, they did a great job. They did a great job with that. It was a great event, beautiful weather, so yes, so it is what you said originally. I think people, including myself, didn't realize and don't realize of what all Parks and Rec. We maintain urban forest. We maintain a lot of the right-of-ways within the city, or where my guys mow, our guys mow, and we cleaned out that urban forest a couple months ago, and so I think it
Beautiful
looks
area.
much better.
Yeah.
And So yes, it's a lot, and especially, as much rain as we're getting now and growing season starting.
Yeah.
It's a big process. And, tree falls yesterday in Chambers Park yesterday afternoon during the storm.
Oh, wow.
So it's something all the time,
Yeah.
But yes, it's a busy department within the city. But I like that.
Well, how can people help you at the parks?
That is a great question. We have some groups that volunteer, which we love it, and we'll have groups that'll volunteer on some weekends, maybe to pick up trash, those kind of things, especially summertime when they get really busy. But I'll tell you, the number one thing is there is an online form called a Parks Maintenance Request, and you can go to lufkinparks.com, or you can go to the City of Lufkin and then go to Parks and Rec's page, and you scroll down, and it's the Parks Request form, and it comes directly to me and directly to Matt Todd, which is the park superintendent. So we know immediately. So whether it's a light that's out on the Zaya Trail, or a tree has fallen, or it could be, I had one yesterday of, it's ideas type stuff of, can we maybe till the sand up in the sand volleyball courts, or there's, we've had days at the zoo, let's say, where they get bombarded with field trips this time of year, and all of a sudden I'll get a form online of, we're out of toilet paper. Well, our guys may have been there at 8 a.m. to clean and and have it,
Yeah.
So it is the best way for the citizens to let Parks and Rec know.
Nice.
That's great.
And it gets the quickest response. Doesn't mean it's not something that day. If it's a, there's a tree we think you need to take a look at.
Sure.
Whether that comes down
Right.
that day or not. But for the immediate type things, it's the best way to to let us know what's going on.
Nice.
Instead of
Awesome resource.
yes, it really is.
Okay, tell that website again.
So you go to lufkinparks.com.
Okay.
And it's called Parks Maintenance Request.
Okay.
Also, Lufkin Parks, that's where you can get all the information on our classes, all the deadlines for sign up. By far, that's the easiest way. And I think and we'll talk about our facilities. We talked, I think a lot of people don't know, but, Kurth Lake was a great example. But, we offer, you can rent Rock House at Chambers. Brandon Park has a community center that's rented very often. Those can also be done online. A lot of people don't know that. And we use a software package called Team Sideline. And you go to teamsideline.com/Lufkin. You can see the availability of those. You can reserve them right there online, put your deposit down, and then it's automatically goes into our system so we know. Those are 7 days. All the ones, the Kurth, Rock House, Brandon Park, and then our facility, which you can also rent, which people don't know. You can rent our gym. We have birthday parties all the time. You can rent the upstairs. We have baby showers. We have, people use that a lot of the community doesn't know you can do. So all of those, it's just a 7-day rental, so we can set our schedule for opening and closings and cleanups, and because sometimes we'll have back-to-back events in Rock House or something. So that's a 7-day. All the pavilions, however, in the parks are no cost. It's a first come, first serve. So if it's open the next day and you happen to call and get it, then you can. But those are free. So you can do those online, or you can call our office as well to reserve those. But a lot of people, I think, don't really know there is a lot of offerings to us where there are places for birthday parties or.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I had many a birthday party at the Rock House.
Me too.
I had a dance at the Rock House.
Really?
Yeah, and I remember my brother is 19 years older than me, and he happened to be home, and of course he came to pick me up, and I was mortified
Oh, wow.
that he was picking me up, and he walked in going, "Tara, are you dancing with a boy?" It was horrible, but lots of fun memories at the Rock House.
I can remember I just remembered this story. I was probably in high school, and a family in our church had rented the Rock House for their son's birthday party, and he was little. I'm going to say 4 or 5 years old. And somehow I got talked into, they rented me a Superman costume. I was Superman. I had to come jump off the ledge.
That's
the kids
funny.
first saw me. I just thought that was
That's awesome. So see, it was meant to be that you're back in this position.
a Superman.
Absolutely.
It's awesome.
So what's the future look like for Parks and Rec?
Exciting. It's exciting. We've got some really good, there were some really good things being planned before, I started even. It's exciting in the planning stages of what we're going to do at Morris Frank Park. a park that holds so many memories. And,
right.
you know, I remember when that's where the rodeo was when I was growing up.
Really?
Rodeo arena was where,
That's right.
kind of where the girls softball.
We have great photos of that.
Yeah.
And, you know, going with my brother and my dad to the rodeo and it being out there. And then there used to be a field on the other end. We always called it Old Blue. And it used to be called Teener Park before it was Morris Frank. It was Teener Park. And many a game we played down there. And then the year the current baseball facility opened, I believe it was 78 or 79, because I was 10 or 11, you know, so I played on those fields, you know, when they opened.
Right.
And, you know, then all the way through high school, and of course our field was there back then, you know, it was at Morris Frank. But to say all of that, it needs an update, especially, you know, concessions and bathrooms, and, you know, it's time for something. And so, you know, there are some exciting things coming.
That's great.
You know, there
we look forward to
Park.
it.
There's some new cool sports that are popping up around the country that we are moving towards. We're in the stages of planning a pickleball
Good.
area at Kiwanis Park.
Oh, very cool.
You can use our facility currently, the gym. We have lines, and they were playing when I left this morning.
Yeah.
So you can use our facility for that now, but looking at adding courts, putting in courts, a starter type facility, you know, to gauge interest. But we have up to 20 in our gym sometimes now. So
yeah, it's
we're
crazy
really
popular.
it's going crazy. And
Yeah.
fixing to start televising ESPN too.
I know.
And so when that
That's
happens,
nuts.
it's
It
fun.
is.
It's fun. But when that happens,
Yeah.
it's going to really take off.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And so we're in the planning stages of that. There is a new game. And you have to look the video up. I can't really explain it, but it's called teqball, T-E-Q ball.
Okay.
It's a curved table that kind of looks like a ping pong table, kind of. And they have partnered with Major League Soccer. They are trying to become an Olympic sport.
Mm-hmm.
I received a phone call, and they are trying to spread, obviously, their sport. So they have donated us 3 teqball tables that has been approved, so we're accepting. And so they're going to go into 3 parks. There's actually 5 different games you can play on it. But one, I'll just try to explain one. Like, you bring a soccer ball, but you can't use your hands.
Mm-hmm.
But you play it kind of like ping pong, but you can use your head, your feet, your knees, your elbow. And it's usually like 2-on-2, you know, partners kind of deal. But there'll be a QR code that'll be on the table. They shoot the QR code. It shows them all the 5 games, all the rules. It's really worth going look it up on YouTube.
Yeah,
and watch.
it's really cool.
Teqball. Okay.
T-E-Q. Yep.
It looks like a big ping pong table that's like melted, right? So like the ends of it are kind of sloped down, so you can kick the ball over back and forth. It's a neat looking.
We're gonna it's great. We're gonna try to tie it kind of into our areas of volleyball, soccer. You know, kind of fits probably by the skate park.
Yeah.
You know, in Kiwanis, probably. So it's exciting to add those kind of sports, I think, because, you know, and they are now have national championships that have been picked up that are on one of the ESPN networks now.
Yeah.
They're in the company I'm dealing with. They're like, they'll send me when it's going to be on, and, you know, they're in Miami and they're doing their national champion. They actually started in Europe.
Interesting.
The sport did, and now has come to
crazy.
the States. But so I think it'll be a lot of fun. I think it will, once people kind of pick up on it, you know, and they just bring a ball, and
That's exciting.
yeah,
That's great.
yeah, it'll be fun.
Well, we look forward to seeing all that you have to come in the future, and we just appreciate you coming on and really educating the public. I think this is a great way for people to learn. Go to Parks and Rec, go to the website, go to the City of Lufkin's website, and check out everything you've got coming up.
Well, thank you very much. I appreciate you having me.
Yeah.
I'll just get a phone number if they want to call us anytime. It's 633-0250 is our main number at the Park Center. Give us a shout, and we can, you know, help you with classes. And also, I'll say too, if you want to come take a tour, you know, I think that we don't do enough tours. Not, you know, I think it's kind of, we'll see new people come into town, and they'll come up and say, hey, what do you guys offer? And we just moved here, and we'll show them around. But I think a lot of people that live here don't know.
Yeah, no.
You know, and we'll be glad to, you know, let you have a tour of our facility, you know, give you our handouts for, hey, here's our summer stuff that's going on. But let us show you the the weight rooms upstairs and fitness areas, and so we'd love to have you, anybody come by anytime and let us show you around.
Perfect.
Love that. Well, thank you so much for your time again. We appreciate you coming on the show and sharing all this with all of our listeners. And I want to thank you so much again for listening this week. And if you'll do us a huge favor, if you'll rate and review the podcast wherever you're listening, that just helps other people who are interested in this sort of content to find the show. Thank you so much, and we'll see you next week.